Does she know about the one that's on your side? Does she know about the things you're trying to hide? Does she know about the one that wants to kill you in your sleep? Does she know you've gotten in way too deep? Does she know? Does she know? Does she know? Does she know about the crazy one that wants you dead and gone? Does she know she's in your heart, she's not alone? Boop. Shit hit the fan. Oh Lord, this wasn't part of the plan. Thought you was the man. It's over now, they got you caught with red hands. Come out, you're surrounded. Dead or alive, they want to bound it. Tried to hide it from her, but she found it. Now we about to get up on some wild shit. Who you think you're fooling? You were so stupid, you done got reckless. Fuck you went to school at. They ain't teach you not to do that. You ain't checked the checklist. Ooh, you should have known better. Cause you done let her in. Now she got the wind, you done set yourself up. Does she know about the one that's on your side? Does she know about the things you're trying to hide? Does she know about the one that wants to kill you in your sleep? Does she know you've gotten in way too deep? Does she know? Does she know? Does she know? Does she know about the crazy one that wants you dead and gone? Does she know she's in your heart, she's not alone? Does she know? Does she know about the one that's on your side? Does she know about the things you're trying to hide? Does she know about the one that wants to kill you in your sleep? Does she know you've gotten in way too deep? Does she know? Does she know? Does she know? Does she know about the crazy one that wants you dead and gone? Does she know she's in your heart, she's not alone? Boop. Shit hit the fan. Oh Lord, this wasn't part of the plan. Thought you was the man. It's over now, they got you caught with red hands. Come out, you're surrounded. Dead or alive, they want to bound it. Tried to hide it from her, but she found it. Now we about to get up on some wild shit. Who you think you're fooling? You were so stupid, you done got reckless. Fuck you went to school at. They ain't teach you not to do that. You ain't checked the checklist. Ooh, you should have known better. Cause you done let her in. Now she got the wind, you done set yourself up. Does she know about the one that's on your side? Does she know about the things you're trying to hide? Does she know about the one that wants to kill you in your sleep? Does she know you've gotten in way too deep? Does she know? Does she know? Does she know? Does she know about the crazy one that wants you dead and gone? Does she know she's in your heart, she's not alone? Does she know?
What's good? What's good with everybody? Sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got a lot going on. What's happening? We're here today. I'm here today in spirit. I don't know if I'm here in soul. I don't know. Miss Pittsburgh, go away. Carolyn Smith, go away. I don't want to hear nothing about no Steelers. I want to hear nothing about the Steelers. Go away. Y'all blocked today. Y'all on suspension from the Wyatt live show. You're on suspension. Don't nobody give a damn about no damn Steelers. All right. Carolyn Smith, you just won slip on ice up out of here. You hear me? You heard me? You won slip. You know it's getting cold outside. It'll be wintertime anytime soon. So that ice is gonna be slippery out here. So don't be walking all like you ain't like you walking on thin ice. I don't want to hear nothing about no damn Steelers. DC, stop co-signing shit. Stop co-signing it. Let's have some fun today. I have absolutely nothing on my paper. Look at that. Nothing. Nothing. What is today? Tuesday? I have absolutely nothing on my agenda to talk about today. It won't be the Steelers. That's for damn sure. You heard? It won't be the Steelers. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm back in my theater and I am basic setup. One light. And I hope you guys can hear me okay. I hope it's not an echo or anything to that nature. Trust when I tell you guys this. I really appreciate you being here. There's a million different places you could be today. A million different places. There's so many different shows, programs, things to talk about, things to do. There's only a few of us on here today. I understand. I get it. I know what's going on. I know how things work. I'm not tripping on nothing like that. If this was popping into my money, if I was getting paid to do this, I would probably be a little bit more competitive. But since it's not really it's not a money thing for me, I don't really worry about hating and you know, people comping in, and I don't really worry about shit like that. I know people who do. I really do. I know people who feel threatened and they need co-signers and you know, they need all that other shit to feel relevant. I don't really need all of that. I appreciate the people that I have. Remember this. I want everybody to remember this. Started with 4. We started with 4 people. Now we got a few more. We have a few more people. So I'm cool if we go back to talking to the 4 people. My life won't change. Trust me. My financials won't change. My day-to-day. The only thing that would be different is if I didn't have to come on at 1 o'clock, I got a whole lot of other shit I could be doing at 1 o'clock. Quite honestly. There's a whole lot of other things I could be doing. And to be honest with you, one of them is making money. I don't make money doing this. I don't make money sitting here telling, dropping secrets, dropping gems. Some people think that it's bullshit. That's okay. It's funny how some people think that when you talk bullshit, it's for the betterment of other people. They think that the only thing that they talk about is moving the needle for other people. Like if you jump on and you get on the bandwagon of what we doing over here, this is how you get to the money. It ain't worked in 30 or 40 years. Usually the only people that's getting to the money are the ones that's talking about how you could get to the money. You know, it's like those infomercials on TV. Let me be honest with you. I stopped messing with those commercials on TV a long time ago. Honestly, I have never bought some shit off the television on an commercial. I've never bought anything. And when it came to me shipping and handling, when it showed up, it worked like the commercial did. Never in my life have I ever bought a stain remover off of television. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, the little can stain remover. Just shake the can and pour it on your carpet. Just spray it and it'll come right up. Just wipe it, barely wipe it. Wipe it with a tissue or a Kleenex. And whatever stain been there for 40 years will come right up. It ain't never came right up when I got my product. Never. Lifetime guarantee it'll work. I promise. Shit ain't never worked. It's never worked. So, usually the people that are doing all the talking, if there's compensation to be made, They're the ones being compensated. If there's a line of politicians involved and you can help the politicians with their agendas, that's the only person that's going to get compensated, is the one that's talking for or co-signing. Some of us call it gatekeeping. Politicians. I just want to let y'all know that politicians are not here to make any of us rich. They're not here to line any of us up with sufficient funds to be able to run a business, to take care of your family. Politicians usually push policies that allow you to just get by. That's my opinion. Went yesterday an entire show and didn't talk politics at all. And I loved it. I love the fact that I didn't talk any politics. I love the fact that nobody brought it up. I want to thank those that were listening yesterday. I want to thank those that called in yesterday. Thank you for making my life, when I didn't want to be here, thank you for making it easier for me. Because we're only a few days away from an election. All right. A national election and a local election. All right. And I say, take all emotions out of what you're talking about or what your feelings are, and vote on policies. Write down what's more important to you as a man. Fellas, I'm talking to you. Write down what's more important to you. Ladies, I'll get to you. I ain't never left the ladies out. Write down the things that's important to you. I tell you what, stop being so damn selfish. Write down the things that you think that are more important to your kids. Things that you think that if you were gone tomorrow, how would your kids, find out, how would they be off? Just that's what we need to do. Start setting our kids up. It's over for us. We didn't done what we had to do. We didn't have our opportunity to mess up or do whatever we're going to do or be great, whatever it is. Write down the things that's the most important to you and take the emotions and the feelings out of how you feel about a person. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I really think that you should say to yourself, what in this wonderful country benefits me the most? What freedoms and regulation, what freedoms do I have? What regulations hurt what I want to do one day or what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to get into? And research it, learn it. Vote with your vote policies. All right. Don't, not liking somebody or, and all this old stuff has nothing to do with policies. It really doesn't. Now, to be honest with you, I don't like any of them. I really don't. I don't like politicians. I don't like politics because to be honest with you, like most of us, we're a product of politics. All right. We grew up in the ghettos because of politics. You understand? That's just my personal opinion. You hear stories and things about the government kept black men out of the families. I mean, there's some levels of truth to that, but you can't tell people that today. You can't tell nobody that Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing is keeping men out of the apartments. You can't convince nobody of that today. They'll say men just ain't shit. Men having these babies and they don't want to be with their women. They won't. That would be the answer of 2024. It's been the answer for the last 2 decades. I'd say 20 years. It's men having babies and they just don't want to take care of them. Nobody's bringing up the other things and we know that's not necessarily true all the way. It's not true all the way. There's a level of truth there, but it's not true all the way. Let's be honest. Well, sorry, I missed that call. Whoever the caller was, feel free to call back. I hit the wrong button, so I was putting you on hold. So, if it was refreshing not to talk about politics yesterday, I really think that there's a whole lot more that we can talk about that would lead to us maybe putting the magnifying glass to severe, to more to magnify the real problems. The politicians are not the problems. I was talking the other day. Let me see if I had it. I put it in my notes, a clip. I'm a product of hip hop. I'm a product of hip hop. Okay, I grew up in a hip hop era, and let me see if I still had this clip right here. I'm freestyling today, guys. I'm freestyling today. So if you wasn't here at the beginning, I haven't written anything down. I just want to know, does anybody have a feeling on this question that Dr. Umar and them posed the other day? And it was, what has hip hop done for our community? Let me see something. Because we love us some entertainers. We love us some entertainment. Let me see if I can find this clip. I know some people logging in now like, boy, he's slow. What is he doing? Let's see here. Yeah, here it is right here. Let's entertain this for a hot second. Good afternoon, Dante. Good afternoon, everybody who just got in. Good afternoon. Jenny said, policy-wise, most definitely Kamala Harris. Okay. I ain't mad at you. All right. Let me see if this makes any sense. I'm just going to start out with something like this. Some people probably going to bounce on us today, and that's fine. I try to make us think and have different conversations. I don't want to be, and I don't mean any disrespect to Mr. Ware. He's done 50 years of great radio, television, and all that. I applaud anybody that can get up and do this for 40 years of your 50 years. I don't know how long he's been a talk show host, but he started out as a DJ. Got a lot in common with that guy. But I just don't want to be part two of that type of conversation. I never wanted to be part two or to be the guy that was following up with the same stuff. I've always had a different thought process than what I hear over there, but I just wanted to bring it to a stage and bring it to a front so everybody else could have a perspective, maybe hear different perspectives and bring along a couple of different ideas of the same thing we've been hearing, especially when you don't have much competition in your area, in your market. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have competition, you kind of have you can kind of steer the bull wherever you want it to go. And I don't mean bullshit. I mean the bull. It's an old phrase. You know what I'm saying? So listen to this right here. I want to know if Dr. Umar Johnson has a point here. Check it. The question is, what has hip hop done for the Black community? Check it out.
A few people can get jobs? That's bullshit when you look at the costs that the Black community has had to pay for hip hop. A whole generation, 2-3 generations of Black kids growing up thinking the best thing you can do is be a damn gangster.
Is there any truth to that? Because I don't think all hip hop talks gangster stuff, but the majority of the hip hop that I see out here that's leaning toward the kids that we see that have problems. If you survey the music that they listen to, most of them listen to the Lil Durks. Most of them listen to the rappers that are facing charges, are always into some stuff. They're into some violence. I think the longer version of that Dr. Umar Johnson clip, I'll try to find it. But basically what it does, it says that there are, there's room for a small few people to make money in hip hop, but look at the sacrifices it made. In other words, he used the example of Nino Brown. He used the example of Nino Brown back in the day in New Jack City when, Nino would come through the community and pass out turkeys during Thanksgiving. But look at the destruction that his product brought into the community. You feel what I'm saying to you? Look at the destruction. I'm going to tell you a show that I think everybody, I would recommend that everybody who really wants to see the politics of a city and the problems within a community, if you ever really want to see how things really, really work, I would recommend you watch a TV series. I think it's on HBO. I'm not sure. I'll find out for sure. But it's called The Wire. All right. And a lot of us have already seen it. Okay. But here's the thing about The Wire and shows like that. You can't watch those series one time. When you watch it the first time, you get what you get. When you watch it the second time, things start becoming a little bit relevant to life. Okay. Has anybody ever seen the show, the series, The Wire? The Wire. The Wire. Has anybody ever seen that? The Wire. It's an amazing mini series of inner city Baltimore. And guess what? It's no different. It's no different. That series right there breaks down everything from street situations to your politics in your cities. And I mean, it breaks down everything. And if you've only watched it once, take my word for it. If you watch it again, you will see the shit that's going on in your city councils, the things that are going on in your communities. It is all relevant. It is all relevant. You would be saying, wait a minute, mayors think that way? Wait a minute, this is why they don't say anything about the parents? Wait a minute, the schools are this trash? Wait a minute, who's running these programs? Wait a minute, they're putting their political careers over the people? Wait a minute. The show The Wire explains it all. It breaks it all down. Wait a minute, hold on. You got a $500 million budget and our kids are getting what kind of grades? Wait a minute, something's wrong here. I seen a couple people said they never seen it. Well, I recommend you go in. I think it's on HBO. I'm not quite sure. I could probably find out. Let me just put it out there if I could find out. Let me see. HBO, The Wire. Just to see. Yeah, it is. It's HBO, 5 seasons, and it's called The Wire. Let me see if I can get you a good picture here. See if I can share a really good picture of it. Image and not Omar. That would be doing too much, wouldn't it, guys? How about I just show them this picture here? I'll just show you the whole TV screen. I'll just show you the whole screen. How about that? Let me share the whole screen to you. This is for those that have not seen it, okay? If you have never seen it, this is what it looks like. All right, well, shit. Let me do this. How about that picture there? How about that picture right there? That tells it all. Don't that look like Stanley Rowe? Don't that look like Stanley Rowe? Wait a minute, hold on. Let me see something. Let me see if I can get this out. Let me show you this picture here. There we go. Don't that look like Stanley Rowe? Who know about Stanley Rowe down the way? Lincoln Court, Stanley Rowe. That look just like the back. I don't know if you guys know that kid, the first kid to the left. Anybody know that first kid to the left there? That first kid to the left sitting on the couch. The first one to the left on the couch there. You guys know who that kid is? Is it too small for you all to see? That kid right there, the first one to the left, is the Michael B. Jordan guy. That's Michael B. Jordan. That was his first, this was kind of like the first series he had ever been on. Let me see if I can bring him up. I don't even know if it really matters to a lot of people now, does it? Probably not. Yeah, Donna said Michael B. Jordan. That's Michael B. Jordan. Let me get this out of here, guys, if you don't mind. Put myself back up. That's Michael B. Jordan. And if anybody's ever seen The Wire, you'll know that it's close to life. The schools are tore up. The administration is bad. Everybody's for themselves, and everybody's making closed door decisions and worried about, you know, how they step on grenades. That's real world. That's real world. Now that series is probably about 10, 15 years old, maybe even older than that. But you know what's older than the series? That same game. That same game is just as, I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing. And we're still running into it. It's the same thing, and it's the same shit you running into. The nonprofit organization. That's right. Somebody said Idris Elba got his got famous as well from The Wire. Yes, he did, Preston Smith. Thank you. I wasn't gonna say nothing because the ladies, maybe that'll make the ladies go watch it. But guess what? He's a bad guy in the series. Oh, now they really rushing to see it. I'm about to turn up. I need a new subscription to HBO. Yeah, he was a bad guy. What's weird about that guy? He's from England. He has an English accent, right? When he speaks regular. But when you see him on these shows, he speaks with an American accent. I thought he did a really good um street dude, Baltimore street dude. He did a really good Baltimore street dude with his dialect. His accent, you could not hear it. It sound more like a dude from the street. You know what I mean? Because Baltimore, they have a certain way of saying things and how they speak. I had a couple buddies that were from Baltimore, and yeah, they got this in between New York and Florida type of a sound. They really do. It's a country slash East Coast type of dialect. This combination of them both. But I think Dr. Umar Johnson hit on something special when he said, all these guys do in hip hop, there's only enough room for one or two of them, to make money. And it burn up our communities. It really does. And what's funny is I never see leaders talking about what children engage in and what's more attractive to these young minds. I just never see that. I never see them talking about that. We're talking about gun violence, and I don't think a kid would pick up a gun unless they've been taught. I'm gonna say something that's gonna really rock some minds and say something. I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it on the air because I try to be as transparent as authentic as I can. But I grew up in the crack era. All right. I'm not suggesting that I was no damn Nino Brown and no shit like that. Everybody here knows that I wasn't that. But that was at the time where you could listen to artists, the Ghetto Boys, the group, and you can learn through music. There was artists back in the day, if you want to call them artists, there were gangster rappers back in the day that would literally teach you in a song how to cook crack. There was plenty of dope in the neighborhood where if you wanted to buy an 8-ball and turn it into crack, you could do that. Nobody's forcing you to do that. You have to be attracted to that lifestyle. There has to be a bait to that lifestyle. There has to be a base and a bait. You know what I'm saying? The bait is the lifestyle that it passes off on these kids. We just never had these real kind of conversations. Everybody want to have these conversations about politics and political things and this and this and that. And we already know it's not politics that's making us do what we do. We all know that. We all know the attraction. I hear Shabazula know what it is. He from down the way. He know what it is. I'm shocked that you even listen to these shows, bro. Because some of this shit be so fake and fried. It's entertainment to people. But bro, you know exactly what I be talking about because you from that. You know what I'm talking about. And you know how fake and fried motherfuckers can be for talking all this old politics shit and the mayor and this and that. You know, bro, you know what it is. You know what it is. And we get on here and we get to talking about ain't nobody doing nothing for the black community. Well, the black community ain't really doing nothing for itself. Let's just be true. Let's be honest. I remember when I started Wyatt Live. Let me see here. Let me scratch my back. When I started Wyatt Live and we got into this talk about immigrants. And I was like, bro, I welcome immigration. I welcome immigration. But I said, I feel sorry for my people. I feel sorry for my people because number one, they're coming over here willingly with free will and the government letting them. And now I'm going to sound like a hater for saying this. But the truth of the matter is this is the same thing that's going to happen when we live down on John Street and Lynn Street became Asian. We had Vince Martin and all the black owned stores, the Callaways and all that old shit they had everything down there. And then we turn around and who came in and start building businesses in what we call our neighborhood. They did. And I ain't mad at them for it. They just did something that we wouldn't do. Now you could look at it two different ways. Did we not do it or were we not able to do it? I'm not going to go in the direction that we weren't able to do it. They may have allowed some of those people to be able to open those businesses in our neighborhood, but we had every look. Show me a crack building downtown. Show me some property downtown Cincinnati in our neighborhoods that some dope boys used to have, bought and paid for. Show me. Show me. I can't say that about the Italians. You know, America is built on illegal money. Yeah, it's built on dirty money, dark money. But you can look at all these different nationalities that come to America and build brick by brick off of bricks. Sabazula, do you hear me? They built their buildings brick by brick, by brick by brick. Where's ours? Where the buildings we should have been buying with all that illegal money and the money that ruined our communities, took the value out of the properties? Where is it? So this is why I welcome immigration. I'm scared of it. I'm openly saying that I'm scared of immigration right now. Some of y'all might not understand what I'm saying, but I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna be as honest as I possibly can. I'm not scared of them. I'm scared of what immigration is gonna do to my people. Because if you really look at America and how it's structured today, and you look at my people, we're customers. You understand? There's only two people in this world. There's buyers and sellers. You either gonna be a buyer or you're gonna be a seller in this world. And we're just too many buyers. We just buy too much. We're consumers. And when I say buy, I don't mean we buying investments. We just buy. We're consumers. We consume product. And what happens is this. If you really look at the immigration that's going on, see, a lot of people have gotten to the point where when you start talking immigrants or immigration, they have brainwashed us to believe that we're being immigrant phobia or some shit, like, oh, you just talking that shit. That's that Donald Trump shit. That's that conservative shit. That's this and this and that. No, I just don't have my head in the sand. I've watched this movie before. I've watched immigrants come to this country and buy my neighborhood. I've seen it. I just don't have my head in the sand. You have this thing, you don't have peripheral vision. It's being blocked by politics, but I see it. You don't. Or you may see it, you just don't want to address it the way it needs to be addressed. But the truth of the matter is, I welcome immigration, but I'm scared of it because all it's doing is diluting my people. It's diluting us. Y'all don't see it for what it really is because you got your mind on a different angle of it. And that's on purpose. They're very strategic. Very strategic. That's how you make people say what happened versus people saying what's going on. Yeah, that's the difference between proactive people and reactive people. And then they'll clown me on having that approach, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Nobody's seen it coming in the 90s when all the Afro shops was of all the things we was buying Afro picks and Jerry curl juices and all this old shit from Asian shops. We wouldn't even spend $1 more for a black-owned store's combs or their perm kits. If it was too high, we would walk right past the store and go right over to Linda. And that ain't even her name. Y'all know. It's crazy. Let me tell you why I'm afraid of immigration. And some people are going to be like, well, see, I told you. I knew he was scared. I knew that's what they all scared of. I don't know about all that shit. Just going to be honest and tell you why I'm afraid of it. Because a lot of people have taken what we have here in this country, the opportunities, have taken it for granted. And there's people on their way here that are not going to take it for granted. They're going to take every piece of advantage that's put in front of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm telling you what's going to happen. Just like if you watch it and look at it today. I see I see Latinos and Mexicans in the grocery stores. But you know what I see going up I see more Latin. How could it be that some of these communities have Latino or Mexican grocery stores already, but we don't? How is that possible? How is it we've been talking about food deserts for 20 years? And I don't get it. I don't get it. And some people might think that I'm being, the famous word is racist. I'm not. I'm looking out for the best interest because I see how the economy is going. I see how people come here, and I see that. I mean, you could use the Scarface guy for an example. They come here and they see the little opportunity, and they blow it up to be the biggest thing. And I know some people be like, "Bro, you tripping? You gonna say Scarface?" Well, it don't take Scarface. I could look at some of the small businesses in Fairfield. Is there a black grocery store in Fairfield? I can think of 4 Mexican grocery stores on Route 4. Just on Route 4, I can think of 4 Mexican grocery stores, Latino grocery stores. Nothing wrong with it. I love it. I love it, actually. Somebody gave them a blueprint. Somebody explain to me how that's possible. Springfield, Ohio. How is it that some immigrants can come here from Haitian, and already have their own businesses up and running for the population of Haitians going in? I actually love it, to be honest with you. But we got to look at how is that possible? And we still sitting back here bitching and complaining because we looking for the black agenda. Huh? Sound good coming through the microphone, sound good through politicians. All that shit sound great, don't it? Truth of the matter is, how is it that some people can come here and within a year or 2 years, they're already established? And here's the thing, they ain't looking for the white man to come knock on their door to service their business. They're not looking for those folks. Most of the people that go into those restaurants or those grocery stores, they don't even, that's their culture. They're basing their business off culture. They're not basing their business on the need of Americans. They're basing their businesses off the culture of what they are and who they are. Some people got mad at me the other day. I'll never let this slide. I'll never forget it. It ain't no big thing to me. Some people took what I said over here and took it somewhere else like this was a big ass secret, or made it seem like I said something totally out of pocket wrong about somebody. But yeah, I'm going to stand on this. I'm going to stand on what I'm about to say. We standing up for Haitians. I don't have no problem with Haitians. But how many Haitians do you have as friends? Go to Lockland, Ohio. They call it Lockland. We call it Lincoln Heights or some old shit. I don't know. We call it Cincinnati, but it's Lockland. Look at the population of immigrants in Lockland. I ain't got no problem with it. But look at how they moving, y'all. There's a lesson to be learned here. I'm not saying get rid of migrants, because migrants ain't thinking about Americans. They thinking about self. They thinking about their culture. They're thinking about building something where they can be successful. They not stopping you from doing nothing. And to be honest with you, a lot of them looking at you like, what you been sitting on? You lazy. What you been doing? All this opportunity, all this chance, you could do what I do. And somebody got mad at me because I said, well, Haitians don't even really rock with us. They don't mess with us. It's the truth. Say what you want to say. They about their own culture. Most immigrants that are of a color, they don't really rock with American blacks. Because I think, quite frankly, and I've been in countries where I heard it. I've heard people say Black Americans lazy. Now, it's not true, but what difference does it make if that's how they feel? It don't matter if it's true. Maybe they don't know the struggle. Maybe they don't know why we are not able. I would use my same argument of, well, it's kind of funny how somebody from another country can come here with a felony, record and get housing, subsidized government living, but a Black American with a felony can't get that same treatment. They can't even go on a waiting list. They don't even qualify. And now you want to say what? Well, blacks shouldn't get felonies. So we don't get a chance to mess up. What about the ones that are coming here with felonies? All that stuff just get erased. That just gets erased. They get a second chance. Where's our second chance? Look, man, I ain't gonna argue the politics of it all. All I'm saying to you is somebody could take this clip and take it and make it for whatever you want to make it. I'm afraid of immigration for my people, not because I'm afraid of the immigrants. No, I said it when I started Wyatt Live. Gonna be what, 5 years in March. When we start talking about immigration, this is what I said. Give them 4 years. And they're gonna have everything they need. They won't need us. They're gonna have their own grocery stores, they're gonna have their own communities, they're gonna have everything. Go over to Lockland. If you guys want to know the truth, go do your own research on Lockland, Ohio, and look at how the rents have gone up because of what the government is doing for the migrants in that area. Go over there and listen to the people who's trying to get 2-bedroom apartments. Go over there. You don't have to take it from me. And I know the gatekeeper is going to try to keep that type of information away from you, because then, that's how they stay relevant, to be honest with you. It's like, if you just try to play, see, sometimes people can be so pro-black that they'll lie. They won't even, I hate saying lie because that's such a common word these days. It's almost a word that's used to just steer people away from the truth, is when you start saying everybody's a liar. That person's a liar. That person's a liar. Well, there's real information out here for you to be able to get the truth. There's real information. Let me go to the phone lines because I'm a little tired. Let me go to the phone lines real fast if you guys don't mind. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with? Hello, caller. You there? Okay, hold on one second, caller. Let me cut you up. Sorry about that. You were low. All right, can you hear me, caller? Oh, there we go. There we go. Sorry about that. The plug fell out. What's good, bro? This is Twin.
Yeah.
Hey, Twin, how you doing, brother? What's on your mind today?
Not today is a good day. I know that. Starting out, I start to call off today.
Are you at work today?
Yeah. I'm at work. I just I started to call off though because the sun was out.
Because you were about to go funning in the sun, huh?
I was about to grill.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. It's about to start getting cold.
When Trump say drill, I'll say grill, baby, grill.
Grill, baby, grill. What you putting on the grill? What you thinking about putting on the grill, bro?
Wait, you got a good point, my brother.
You did what?
I said you got a good point. We grew up on it, drug era or whatever.
Twin, I'm sorry, bro. You were breaking up a little bit. The phone line was breaking. It was choppy. Can you start over?
I say you got a good point. We grew up on the drug era and everything else. And coming about. Can you hear me, man?
I can hear you.
So my thing is this, Wyatt. They come, Master P and Gucci Man was coming out with the drill music. Well, before the drill, they was, how to teach us how to cook dope and everything else. And we was going off of that. So my thing is this, Wyatt. See, people realize, and they still, the white folks still label us criminals and, gangsters or whatever, and, terrorizing the neighborhood type. But why people really don't know the history of Gangster Disciple, which is converted to growth and development now. See, while we was about education and everything, hey, before you do this, before you do that, man, make sure you get your education. You didn't have your education, and when you got to the joint, they make sure you got your education. That was under the code guidelines and everything of the GD. And people, while we used to educate people on how to vote, back in the day, and people they don't tell good stories. The only thing they label the GDs as, they was just killing other black folks. You don't really know the history, man. So the only thing on white folks and Britain and y'all that we used to kill one another. Yeah, it is what it is. But it was more positive note on the real besides the negative and everything, and people realize, oh, they just as gang they was doing, but you don't know the history though. What's the good of it? And then why when we was coming about back in the 96, 97, why when it was really getting ugly, they shut the governor and the minister and the board members up. Why? Because they knew we was about to make a movement. And
You
everything,
know,
oh,
twin,
they got word in, huh?
twin. Let me just stop you there, bro. I know what you're saying, but you tell us, you reinforce that every time you call. And all I want to say to you is this: I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You tell us that. I think what you're missing with this gang violence, or excuse me, this gang affiliation thing is we've all been taught, including myself. See, I know about the gangs, bro. Like I really do. I mean, you know, Rufus out. That was kind of like my past in Chicago when I was a kid. I know how that shit worked. But that's a very hard pill for people to swallow, to think that the gangs were a good thing for the community, bro. Because the gangs don't own anything any more than the black community does. You have to show the relevance of your of your kindness through through.
What you think what they was doing? Why he said the organization they was educating people about doing this and doing that. What are you talking about?
Well, you know what? I don't understand. That's a hard thing to teach people. You're gonna have, the receipts are gonna have to be more clear, because you have the perception. I'm sorry, I'm a little choked. The perception of gangs is violence. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's
Now I
not
understand
the
what you're
gangs.
saying,
The
but people
gangs. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me just
people
say this, and then you can have the floor. I promise you.
go ahead.
The difference between the gangs and the Black Panther Party. You know, the government painted the Black Panthers as a gang, which they weren't. They opened up soup kitchens. They did educational things. They opened up homes for people to live in when things were bad. They wanted people off of government assistance. They were they were against government in the black families' lives. I don't think the gangs have ever represented themselves in that type of way.
What are you talking about? They marched with Martin Luther King on the movement and stuff. They was with the Black Panthers when the gangster disciples to march to City Hall in Chicago.
Okay,
They was
then maybe I
they was
just
educating. Man, they labeled it all that crazy stuff, man,
well, here's the
as
thing.
criminalized stuff, man.
Here's the thing. I don't think
What?
anybody, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, because I got love for you, but I'm just want you to see where people coming from when you saying what you're saying, and why they say what they say or feel the way they feel. And I can't be speaking for everybody. I'm speaking for myself and a few that know where I'm coming from. Bro, there's nothing out there that kind of documents how great gangs were for the Black community. I know that there were some movements made, but there's too much negativity about gangs and gang violence amongst each other. You can't say that the Bloods and the Crips been good for the community. You can't say that. They push
I can't
drugs.
speak about them.
I know. But what I'm saying to you is that's the perception of what gang activity is to most people. If you don't live in a city, here's the advantage that you have, twin, that people don't get. You live there. Not only did you live there, you were part of it. You hear, you see, you touch, you smell, you feel all of that. But a lot of people who don't live in those gang infested areas, bruh, we don't know. We don't know other than what we've been taught and what's been shown to us about gang activity. They put a movie out. What was that? Colors. Bro, all it was about territory and selling dope in territories. We didn't see Crips and Bloods putting food on anybody's table other than their own.
And what year that came out in the late '90s, right? Early '90s,
I don't know.
when the drug infected started coming about.
I don't know. I don't know. But
See, they try
I don't
to,
remember. I can look
man,
it
that
up.
what gets me. And so just because, just like this voting election, what kills me, they try to manipulate or whatever and trick people's mind into that BS. Man, as a community, we were strong going up, Wyatt.
Well, let me
And,
ask you
we
something.
was about,
Let me ask you a question about the gangs. And I'm not attacking. I just need an education, because I know what I know about it. Okay, because look, I told you I had a friend of mine whose mother kept him out of the gangs by moving him out of Chicago, and she moved him to Louisiana, but she moved him to New Orleans only for the summer times. So he was my best friend in New Orleans, but he would tell me things. Let me ask you something. How did the GDs and how did the gang members get their money? How did they eat every day? What was their source of income? Did they work and just pay dues?
No, it was
What was it?
they had people out there on the block
Doing what?
hustling.
Doing what? Hustling?
Yeah,
Selling
some of them,
drugs?
but back in the day, why
Selling
they had
drugs.
people working out of stores, they had people working out of they had real estates and all that back in the day.
Okay.
So they had property just like the immigrants and all that. They had property, but the feds came in and took everything. And you know, back in the day, it wasn't in your name, it was your grandma or somebody's name.
Well, the only way that the feds could take it is if it was part of a conspiracy or a part of a criminal organization. That's the only way that the feds could take it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the affiliation, you got to understand if it's involved in criminal activity, it's open field for the feds to take it. My point
But if I'm a
is,
leader of the GDs, whatever, twin, call them 63rd all the way to 79th, who running this region over here, twin is, what he doing? But then they go in like, I put that wire on and stuff, we go track them. And hey, I got 50 kilos coming through such and such, and it's coming Monday. Yeah, I'll get popped off and everything, but I'm some way legit, but I ain't. I got my restaurant and everything, and
no, you're
you
not.
know,
You're not legit.
me being top notch and everything, and because my name is hot out here, and I'm the leader of the GD, part leader and everything. Now look, if I'm the case.
Well, let me just say this to you, brother. I said it earlier in the game, or earlier in this conversation about the game, and that is, I don't see any dope. I don't see too many businesses that have been built from brick to brick by bricks. You understand what I'm saying to you there, twin? I just don't see it. And we can't say that about other people. We just don't build, we don't tend to get into organized crime for the right reason. And I know some people about to knock me upside my head for saying that. But I think Twin is trying to talk about organized crime and it being used in a good nature. But we don't have anything to show for organized crime being good. The Italians do, white America does, the Latins do. A lot of them
Because
have.
you got jealousy and envy and
Well,
everything in the midst of
that
it.
sounds like a self problem. That sounds like a us problem. It
Well,
don't.
that's always gonna be like that. What's happening today with us? Why I got a old jumping ass club going and shit. And here come me, old twin. Man, fuck that nigga, man. We gotta shoot this shit up. Now your shit, shout out cousin Lloyd, because I'm jealous of Wyatt. Come on, man.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, and you know how this go. I'm not gonna challenge your street. All right, this ain't what this is. But I think that you and I both can agree that most shootings that happen are from retaliating positions. It's not because of jealousy. Like nobody's coming to shoot up my club because they just mad that I have a club. I usually have to be in their circle of messing up their money or.
Wyatt, stop it.
Oh,
Stop it, man.
okay.
You got some, because I'm been around some guys like that.
Well,
And that
there's
thing.
some petty people in
Who was
everything.
jealousy and kidnapped the girl and everything off of jealousy, and they because this guy making money and then go put your work out there like you got to stole your product and made it all good like it's really good when you took that man idea and everything. And it's crazy, man. It's
Well,
backstabbing Negroes out here, man.
There are, but
Cause that's how it is. So you can't tell. I've been around it, man. It's been jealousy and everything.
okay.
You mad because what that nigga got? Come on, you can eat off the same plate. But no, you don't want to see that. I seen a guy down here and stuff about 10, 15 years killed the guy over $5. I said, man, here, take this $5. What you gonna kill him on $5? No, I want that nigga $5. Bam. Come on, man. It was goofy as hell. It's crazy, man.
I understand where you're
for
coming
no
from.
reason.
I
You
understand.
jealous because
I understand
I
where
mean,
you're coming
real
from.
talk. It's happened. You ain't fair. 20-some years ago, almost over $5, man.
Yeah.
Jealous of that man because he hustled more than you. You go kill that man over $5? Come on, man. It's crazy, man. So that's how. I mean, why we can do better with it, but some people weren't looking at gas station really and grocery store. Then they were worried about the money, man. That's all they worry about it. But you got these people. We can't get mad at them, white, because we had a chance, to develop and develop the downtown or the hood or whatever, put up a mom and pop store. But no, we can't get mad at them immigrants coming here. Hey, I've been around the immigrants. They've been crossing that border since day one. So we can't get mad. Where we go? The devil want us to be mad. That's all it is. But what we go get mad for? Y'all said the land of the free, right? You got a welcome sign in front of your house say welcome, right? So what we go get mad for? Land of the free. Free would do whatever the hell you want to, but don't get caught. Make sure it's a legal way. You can do whatever. They say land of the free. I'll land on this motherfucker for the free. Let me work these numbers right quick. See,
Okay.
people want us to go, the enemy want us to go, toe to toe, and the devil want us to get mad because of immigrants. No, don't come over here and stuff. They just like us, human, man. I ain't mad at it, but it's just my point is when somebody asked for the assistance and stuff, that's how they was looking at why they got to get it before us. That's how the people's really getting mad about and everything. I've been here. I've been paying taxes. That's what only thing black folks was pissed off. Other than that, man, what we as black folks forgive people within a heartbeat, man. That's our problem. We forgive like a motherfucker, which is good.
Well,
Which is good, because you
I
can't go
will,
to the grave hating
I will
nobody,
have
man.
to agree
What we
with
go
you.
hate for?
I will
What we go
absolutely
hate for?
have to.
Why? You got $100,000, I got $10. I'm gonna make this $10 stress. Can I catch some 200? If I can't, oh Lord, let me go somewhere else. I'm gonna make it happen though.
Okay.
But the good
Now I
of it
feel you.
is I woke up this morning. That's all about. Cause why you can't take it to the grave with you, man? You can live with your kids and all that. But then, man, this material shit, man, it ain't going nowhere, man. Take it with them.
Well,
People get mad. Do the best what you can do. Be best how you can be in life right now before the Lord take you home. That's all it. Try to make it for your family and your kids and all that. Leave them something behind. Don't get
okay.
mad at this and that person. Cause let me tell you this. I love everybody. White, black, Hispanic, whatever color. I don't hate nobody to discriminate. They ain't in my blood. I'm all this one. Man, man,
All
it's
right,
crazy,
twin. I
man.
think what we got out of the conversation is the gangs and how what they were doing for the community, but the government stopped them because the government broke up the organized crime because they were getting on track of giving back to the community. I just, there's just this conflict of interest there for me. And the reason why I say that is because Nino Brown in New Jack City passed out turkeys, but he passed out turkeys to the community that he was destroying with his product. To me, it's just like it's like a very it's like a, I don't know, bro. I don't even
Don't
know.
they do that every year in politics and pass out turkeys and all that? We got a non-profit organization building coming. Don't they do that every 4 years?
Well, it's a
If
little.
anything can destroy us, it's the black leaders and them preachers. Them the one that really destroy the community. If you want to go there, they
Well,
definitely destroy the community, man.
I mean, it
I
all
don't care what
depends
no,
on what
huh?
it all depends on what they support. I don't believe that I don't believe that preachers are the ringleaders, but I do think they are a tool in the black community that's been used for decades to settle people
How
down.
long? How long that 513 taxes has been out? Can you recall what
What is it?
that 503 taxes?
503 tax exempt?
It was it 513
Oh, you're talking about
50.
the tax exempt for nonprofit organizations or in the churches.
How long that? Okay, how long that been out?
It's been around
Can
for a
you
while, for a long time, decades.
what's in the 50s? Maybe it's established, maybe
I'm
or
sorry.
longer than that.
I'm sorry.
What?
What?
Probably in the 50s, maybe.
I don't know. I would probably guess that it was probably it may have began, and I could be off base. I could probably look it up, but my guess would probably be like 80s, started in the 80s,
Okay,
maybe.
the
I don't
80s.
know.
Okay, the 80s. It was a trick mastermind plan. You look. You get that nigga out their house and go pump these food stamps in. Pump these food stamps on welfare. Hey, matter of fact, Reagan, what's your plan? Pump this drug up in there. Let's go get her. Hey, Mr. Reverend such and such. I need this building right here to go build us a have landscape or something. Oh yeah, but my brother Elroy needed it. He been trying to get that. Don't worry about it. We got 50,000 for it. Sell us a business and call it a day. That's how they play you, man. And that's what the preachers start doing, collecting
Well,
their
I
taxes,
think I
without getting a free will and everything, and sold us out. Come on, man. There's supposed to be a church added on in the next building, but here come Everson Landscape next door. hold on, Reverend Smith, you said we was gonna get the auditorium for the kid. Oh, Sister Dorothy's coming, and they ain't never been came. It ain't came. Come on, man, that's how they play us, man. As soon as that exempt thing came about and drugs and all that, they had a circle masterminding, man. They do 10 years. They do this 10 years ahead, man. Before you even know it, man. Just like this railroad plan and all this, and streetcar, this shit was playing 10, 15 years, man. Y'all just getting the end of the donut stick. See, if you go up in there and punch their ass before all this shit happen, then you could have an outcome of it.
Twin,
but don't come
I
to
gotta
me.
ask you a
What?
question. No, he said, what? You take air out your chest. Damn, bro, I ain't tripping. But what's a donut stick? I ain't never heard that one. I'm just curious. Is that some Chicago shit? What's a donut stick, bro? I'm just kidding.
You know, you put that donut in motherfucker, you know, that stick
I'm tripping on
curl that motherfucker around,
okay,
man.
all right. That was a
And that
new one.
motherfucker just fall.
All right,
You
my
know, that
bad.
little
All right.
like,
All
I'm
right. Hey,
just
twin,
saying,
I'm
man,
up.
real
I'm up.
talk,
I'm
man.
up against the time, bro. I gotta go, man. But you held so long yesterday. I thought I'd give you some more time today, bro. So I appreciate you.
No,
I thank you for the
I
energy.
always holding everything, but you just come in late and the audio messed up and extra stuff, and I don't know, the chords
Oh,
jumped
now you're
and
just
the
gonna go
dog
in on my
loose.
shit. Now you're gonna go
I'll
in on
just
my.
play.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't
I'll be an extra.
I didn't gave him all this time to go off and vent and have a better day because
No,
when you
man,
get
I
things
got
off your
cussed out
chest.
and people harassing me because I won't vote for your whole interest. And man, I said, get your goof ass off my face, man, with that thing. I had to either at the store, I mean, at work or on the street. You twin and yeah, I am. What's up? You need to stop it and say, just vote for her. Man, hell, well, who she do? I don't know her. And I don't know Trump, right? If I feel who's right, I can go for her. Other than that, it's definitely not going to be her.
I hear you.
Come on, man.
All right,
That
brother.
goofy
All right.
stuff,
Well,
man.
we up at the top of the hour, bro. I can hear the commercial linking in now. Do you hear it? You hear it?
You said what now?
I can hear the commercial music playing in the background. You hear it?
Yeah, there's a radio. Some stuff jumping on the radio or something going on. Station they playing in Crow. The time you put up these
No, that's the
ads and stuff.
commercial. That's the commercial. You just hear it in the background. That's actually the commercial. We're coming up to a commercial break.
Oh, what you bumping in on the commercial? Hey, play that Lil Wayne Misunderstood when you go out, your outro.
I don't know if I had Lil Wayne
You
Misunderstood.
got it. You got it. You get it. You worth 100 million. You got it.
Who worth Lil Wayne worth 100 million?
You know, Randall. Rand. Like it.
I don't know about that. I might be a few short of that 100. I might be a few
I'm
short.
gonna holler at you, Mom. The Lord's will, Wyatt.
All right, brother. I
Man.
appreciate you.
Everybody in the chat.
Thanks for engaging with us, man.
All
right, brother. Woo wee! Goodness gracious, twin. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just need some relief. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, man. Some shit is so draining. Twin, I hope you listening. I just gotta tell you something, brother. I got absolutely nothing out of that call. And I love you because you know, Jesus. You absolutely you know, you it sounds like you really care. But I'm confused. You know, I'll be honest with you. I know what he's talking about. I may not agree, but I don't have that mentality. I forgot that mentality a long time ago. Some things you forget and you just don't ever want to go there again in your mind. So you forget. You know how it is, but you just forget. You don't want to do it anymore. Ladies, y'all know how it was when y'all like thugs. Not all of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to a certain lady right now. You're a great person now, I'm sure, but you had your little time stint with knucklehead dudes. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you done been with these knucklehead ass dudes, the exciting dudes with nothing going on. All right, they have absolutely shit going on. Now that you know what you know about life, they have absolutely nothing going on, but they're exciting. you had this little stretch of time that you dealt with these nothing ass dudes. You'll never go there again now, will you? Because you knew you was wasting your time. You knew that that was not good for you. Fellas, I would say the same thing to you, but y'all stay with some nothing ass chicks for the forever because they just there. But women don't tend to roll like that. They tend to get rid of dead weight. Yeah, I mean, men don't get rid of dead weight. We replace dead weight. That way, we maintain it. We keep it. You get rid of one, get another one, that type of shit. That's the difference between men and women. This is my opinion, y'all. Y'all can say, oh, no, no, no. But the truth of the matter is, women have this period of time, not all, some. Women have this period of time where they get the dating guys that's exciting and these guys aren't shit. And they probably know deep down inside, this ain't the guy for me, but he's the guy for me right now. We're going to have fun. I'm going to let him, he going to go to jail on me 1 or 2 times. But after the second time, that's going to be it. Then I'm going to go out and get me a real dude. I don't know what y'all be thinking, but I've always said something that's going to get me in trouble, and it's this. I've said it to myself, but I think women waste a lot of their time on those dudes trying to have too much fun. Like, y'all waste your best years sometime on these dudes that aren't good for you. And the only time you realize that is when you turn 40. When you turn 40, you look back and be like, damn, I gave that motherfucker my 20s. I gave that dude my 25, my 20. I gave him two or three strong years that I shouldn't have gave that guy. Fellas, I'm about to say something to you. Ladies ain't gonna like it. That's our problem right there, I think, fellas. The reason why we continuously get this dead weight is because women make themselves available for that dead weight. Yeah. Yeah, Brenda Early said they were fun for a minute. Guess what? There's a lot of minute girls out there. There's a lot that mentality never changes. Remember the other day we had that conversation and I was like, when women up their standards, guys will come correct. Like, I hope to God, I got to knock on wood. I hope as a father, I've done what I'm supposed to do. And that is, I thought I taught my daughters not to give these knucklehead dudes any of your time because time is valuable. The more precious time, to be honest with you, for females, for women, the most precious time of women to me are your younger years. Because think about it. We all make our mistakes in our younger years. But our younger years for women could be a little bit more severe because if you have a baby by a knucklehead dude, think about that. Think about that. You just had a baby with a knucklehead dude who's not in your life, who's not going to be in your child's life, maybe be in your child's life, but what example is that person going to set? Now, it's not like that in all cases. I know some very, very good kids grow up to be pretty good people. And they were, part of a teenage mother and father. Hold on, let me read this. Jerica says, why do you think it's hard for us as women to hear the truth? We've lived life as a woman our whole lives. No man explaining needed. Well, no, I don't, if it's not what I try to enter those type of conversations with conscience. That's why I say it like that. I try to go into these conversations not saying it as if you don't know. I don't want to be that guy that's trying to tell somebody something. But even though if the writing on the wall, sometimes you need somebody to just read it off the blackboard. Somebody can read it off the wall. And that's just what I feel that I'm doing. I'm not trying to explain to anybody what you don't already know, but y'all do know that sometimes just the acknowledgement of something we already know, it kind of cleanses the air a little bit. It opens up the door for further conversation. It's just something that we don't really talk about. And me being the father of 2 young girls, I feel like the importance of a father is to set the example to his 2 daughters not to have children at a young age, because those are the pit stops of life for young ladies. I'm not assuming, Jerica says, but But to go in assuming that we don't agree. All right, let me just say this to you, Jerica, so you'll understand. I understand where you're coming from, but you're wrong in your assumption of how I'm coming off. I say that to buffer the conversation. Quite frankly, I don't care how anybody feel about what I say. I say it in a way so you'll understand, like, I know you know, but I know you might get a little upset because somebody's saying it. I mean, I'm trying to surround all areas. I don't want to be that guy that's having a conversation that nobody really wants to have. No, they don't want to have this conversation because it comes with accountability. Accountability is a hard thing to have conversation on platforms. It's hard. And then here's the other thing. More importantly, Jerica, I don't want it to seem like I'm blaming women for decisions that they make when they've been influenced, or I understand that the life is what it is when we get these young dudes who know how to talk to women a certain way because this girl or this young lady didn't have a father in her life. So the first man she falls in love with is a guy that don't know how to be a man. See, to be honest with you, I know whose fault it really is. And it don't feel good to be able to say it. We sit back and we say to ourselves, these girls having babies at young ages. Well, it takes two to have a baby. It takes two. We all know that. But it takes two people to have mutual respect for one another and to understand the consequences of their behavior. And until we build that into our children, hell, come on, y'all. Y'all know you're talking to a dude that was born in Laura Holmes from a 14-year-old mother. And I ain't talking about nobody other than the shit that I've been through and seen. And the problem that we're running into is we don't have these type of conversations because they're being hidden by other things, other agendas, people that make money off our ignorance, people that make money off these programs. Instead of fixing the people, they don't want to fix the people. They want to fix the problem afterwards. We got to reach the problem before it becomes a problem. And nobody really wants to have that conversation. Don't want to fix that problem. And like I said earlier, most of us, it's life. We understand what problems or pitfalls we fall into later. And unfortunately, our children come up from behind and they fall into those same pit stops. And if I'm lying, we wouldn't have a consistency of the same problem. And the problem that we're running into is the same thing that we ran into. So, how do we fix that? How do we fix that? Shouldn't our leaders, where do we fix this problem? How do we fix this problem? I'm just curious. Maybe you can help me. I thought it was in parenting. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's in parenting. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong. If we have young folks given their best years to not all the wrong things, but things that can set their life up to go in the wrong direction, I think there's something that can be done about it. David Herring says, learn from others' mistakes. You would think that would be the answer. You would really, David Herring, isn't that like the easiest thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the easiest, obvious answer. I couldn't even argue. That's the easiest, obvious answer. But we don't do that. You know why? You know how I know that? Here's the thing. Because when you see your uncle go to jail and your uncle go to jail and come home and he tell you that jail ain't all that, it ain't that bad. Oh, and he come home and do the same shit he been doing, then jail must not be that bad. Okay, so when we learn a pattern of behavior, we tend to follow it. And it's just what I see. Is it fair to say this? Is it fair to say this? David Herring, answer this one for me, bro. Is it fair to say that most teenage if you were raised by a teenage parent, that you may end up being a teenage parent yourself. Isn't that like the patterns? If you had teenage parents or, 17, 18-year-old parents, chances are you're going to have a baby when you were 17, 18, 14, 15, 16. I mean, isn't that the pattern? Isn't this a pattern of behavior? Now, here's another thing I'd like to see. I'd love to break this down. The kids that are out here doing the street stuff, playing in the streets, what are their parents doing? What are their parents are involved in? Sad thing is, this is a real statistic. These are real numbers. When I was 15, my mother was 30. Do you realize what a 15-year-old little boy looks like today with a 30-year-old mother? Who can honestly say that a 30-year-old mother is really in a position to teach a 15-year-old son anything? And how was it back in my day? Because back in my day, we had more of a village. So Mama Birch and them was in our face. We weren't just raised by our mothers and our grandmothers and our aunties. We was raised by the community. So it was a little easy. I won't say easy, but it was a little bit more. We had a surrounding support system. And I'll be honest, I don't know if they really had that surrounding support system to this day. And that makes it worse. So, if you got a mother that's 30 years old is still in party era, but you got a whole 15-year-old highly energized, ready to go, ready to be influenced, ready to explore life, ready to be sexually active, ready to do a whole lot of things at 15 years old, and you got a mama that still parties. You got a daddy that sometimes show you that this life, shit, I'm about that life, about that. And it's easy to get captured. That 15-year-old son is very easily to be captured. Isn't that sad, Jerica? Isn't that sad? Now, you know what? I watched this video the other day. It makes me think of this conversation we're having right now. I seen a guy who he was 95 years old. Anybody see this video on let me see if I have it. I don't know if I have it. Let me see if I have it on here. 95-year-old black man who was talking about how long he had been married. And he married his wife when he was 21, 22 years old. I can't remember if it was 21 or 22. He married her. He was 22. Guess how old she was? Now he's 95 to this day. Did anyone see that? Let me see if I can find it. I don't even know if I saved it. Did anybody see that? Oh, Carolyn said 15. Ben said 13. She was 14 years old. He was 22 years old. She was 14. Here it is right here. I don't know if I could. Let me see if I can. Let me see what it is real fast. Let me see how long. No, it's fairly long. It's fairly long. I'll put it on the page. I'm going to put it. It's in the Wyatt Live Messenger group right now. I just dropped it in the Wyatt Live Messenger group for those that are part of the Wyatt Live Messenger group. 92. He's 92. I said 95. I'm sorry, guys. My memory sometimes. 92-year-old granddaddy talks about his favorite decade. They asked him what was his favorite decade. Guess what decade it was? It was the decade that he met his wife. He met her. She was 14 years old. He was 22. And he went to that father of that young lady and he asked for her hand in marriage. He asked for her hand in marriage. And the father put him through the test, taking care of, Taking care, how can you take? And the father liked him. I think this was common behavior back in those days because she was pregnant. That's why they had to get married. But he said, I'm going to support her. This is going to be my wife. This is going to be who I raise and who this is going to be who I'm with. I just dropped it in the Wyatt Live Messenger group. It's a touching story. It's when men took responsibility for the things that they were doing. It was when women were looking for a husband and men understood that I need to get a wife. I need to form a family. I have to build something with a family. I just don't see 22-year-old men doing that anymore. Is it just, I don't know why. I don't know. I got married. I've been with my wife since I was 20 years old. We haven't been married that long, but when I got back to the United States, when I got back to Cincinnati, I was 20 years old and I met my wife. I think I was 20. I met her. We dated for a few years, got engaged for a year or two, and then we got married. I believe 5 years after we met. We didn't have any children when I got married. We didn't have any children or anything at that time. But one thing I didn't want to do is I didn't want to be like my father. I didn't want to be the type of guy that would have babies all over town. And I just didn't want to be that guy because I couldn't imagine leaving. I couldn't imagine somebody feeling about me how I felt about my father. The great thing about my mother, because a lot of people get on me because I say things about my mother, but I'd like to say this. The one thing that I would say about my mother that was greatness is my mother never in her life badmouthed my father. Not one day went by where when I asked my mother a question about my father, did she ever say anything derogatory, bad, nasty about my father. He paid absolutely zero child support. We lived on the system. We didn't have anything. And my father was a street dude. And every time I seen him, he was always clean. He was always, pool shark hustler, dice playing. He was always in the streets. He was always getting money. And when he wasn't doing that, he was in jail. But not one time did she ever tell me anything bad about my father. And here was her explanation. As I got older, I asked her the question. I said, Mom, why you didn't never? And I can remember it and I can hear her voice in my head. And she would always tell me this. She said, Ran, I'm going to leave your perception of your father to you. As you get older, you'll understand how to deal and how to feel about your father. I am not going to put I don't want to leave an impression on anything. So you'll have a certain way that you feel about your dad. I don't want to do that. And she never said it in a way, twisting her head, I didn't get any vibes off of it. She just left my feelings for my father. She left it all up to me. That was the best lesson. And I tell that to anybody that's young who may have a beef with your baby daddy and all of that. Please don't go to your children talking about how horrible their father is and this and this and that. Because the best way that you will teach that kid is let that kid have his or her own impression of that father. And the reason being is because that's what made me a better dad. That's what made me a better man, I thought. That's what made me stay with my responsibilities because I knew the feeling of I knew the feeling of being one of several kids out here that didn't get any attention, didn't get any support. And I knew that feeling. It stayed with me. And then my mother would have made the biggest mistake of her life if she would have tried to convince me that my father wasn't shit. But just for the record, she never did that. She never told me one thing bad about my father, my biological father. Never. Let me go to the phone lines real fast before I wrap up for the day. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Fame Rothstein, how are you doing?
Hey, Fame. How you doing today, brother? How you feel?
Oh, I'm pleasant, per usual. How are you doing?
Good. I'm holding on, brother.
Good. Just wanted to talk about what you talked about at the top of the show, the Dr. Umar clip, because there's people in this audience that can verify this.
Okay.
I said that very sentiment on another podcast.
Oh, wait a minute.
Several years ago.
Hey, Fame, let me get it straight. Are we talking about the clip that I played today, and he was talking about hip hop music has done nothing for the black community?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to be clear.
Yeah. Yeah. I said that several years ago on another podcast.
Okay.
I said hip hop is the worst thing that happened to black people in the last 50 years.
Okay.
It's got a few people uber rich, but the destruction it caused was not worth it. You know, the destruction of, you know, and hip hop is really a Rome. At first it was okay. You know, when they were rapping, it was about, you know, being peaceful and unified and all that. Now everybody's pretty much a front for a criminal organization anymore.
Can I say something about that? I agree with you, but I agree with you to a certain extent, and I think this will be fair. I think when hip hop first started, it was great. It had good intentions, and then it veered to the conscious rappers, the KRS-Ones, and the Black Righteous Teachers, and we had our conscious rappers, bro. We even went through a phase in early '90s or late '80s, excuse me, of having the medallions and things of black culture and self-sufficiency. Bro, there were rappers out there that was talking about those things. But then we took a turn. So I can't say the full 50 years have been bad. I just say that the last 40 years have been infiltrated by the bullshit. I'll give you that. I'll say you're absolutely right, bro. But rap music has not been what it is today, what it's been for the last 20 or 30 years, maybe even 40 years. It hasn't always been that way.
And history will show that you, Randall K. Wyatt, was at the front of the bullshit.
I've admitted that, and I've definitely taken on responsibility about that, Fame. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you know, so calm down, Selector. You wasn't playing KRS-One at your club.
Yes, I was.
You wasn't playing Poor Righteous Teachers.
Yes,
you
I
were
was.
playing Luther Campbell.
I was playing Poor Righteous Teachers and KRS-One. I was playing those records. But I wasn't playing them for the right reason. I was playing them because they was hot. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna be fair and honest with you. I played KRS-One because those songs was popular. They was hot. They was being played on the videos. But nobody was listening to that shit, you know, because of what the message was. No, you know, it's kind of like the opposite of now. A lot of these kids don't go to the clubs listening to the hip hop albums like they, you know what I'm saying? They listening to the dance hip hop, but the hip hop of our era had messages in it. Yes or no? They had messages in it. The hip hop today that they sit around and chill on has messages in it. The problem are the two different messages. There's a disconnect from when it was then to what it is now.
No, you're 100% right. The message is in it, and that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of these guys. They just appear to be, you know, criminal organization front. You know, whether they're Memphis, Atlanta, wherever. So I couldn't help but agree with Dr. Umar because I said that years ago. And I don't even say it to act like it's, you know, some type of profound thought. It seems to be pretty simple if you just look at it.
Fame, to give you some credit
a good
here.
hard look at the community.
Fame, to give you some credit here. I believe, brother, that you've said it on this platform as well. I've heard you say that before.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily profound thought. If you just take a look at the community, it's like, damn, we're the only one who lets youth run wild and have a voice, you know, even though they don't necessarily deserve a voice, but we let them lead. We let their voice lead. We let women lead, and hip hop is all a part of that. And all that came from hip hop. You know, and you know, blatant disrespect for authority. All that came from hip hop. And it's just been eroding the community ever since. You know, and if you disagree, I'm sorry. You know, I'm not going to argue with you. You know, go say your piece somewhere else. I'm not interested.
No,
and I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about anyone.
No. I know. I'm not taking that personal. That statement is
you know,
fair.
go say your piece somewhere else because I ain't listening to it because it's the truth. So that's all I got, man. Yeah, that's fine. That conversation with you and the other caller, that was kind of painful after about the first 45 seconds.
Well, I
Um,
let everybody speak their
but
piece, brother.
yes, you do. Yes, you do. You're very accommodating as a host, and we appreciate that. We're enriched and ennobled
Oh, ain't that something?
for your
Wyatt and
service.
Fame having a moment today.
So yeah,
We're complimenting one another. Go figure.
indeed. So yeah. So we're gonna cut that bullshit right now because I'm gonna get off the phone and let y'all know it's been real. I had fun. I got the hiccups, but I'll deal with them.
Oh yeah, you got the hiccups bad, brother. That howl was horrible. That howl was horrible, bro. If he go back and listen to that one, he is going to trip out. He said he dug deep to get that howl that didn't go anywhere. Sorry, Fame. I had to, since you complimented me today and I gave you some love back, bro. I just wanted to sneak one little diss in. That howl was absolutely horrible. That wasn't a howl. That was a hit dog there, bro. Sorry to tell you. All right, so look, I'm at the top of the hour, but I'm gonna go on a little bit longer. Oh yes, David Herring, I did. I've made an executive decision. Now, over the weekend, y'all know I've been down, I've been gone. David Herring asked, let me show you what he asked me. He said, Wyatt, did you receive that DM for the Taft High School teacher? Yes. Here's what I want to ask the family. I think that I jumped too soon about giving the teacher an award, or rewarding her for her participation in that story. No, I'm not taking it back. I just feel like we should do something different. All right, I want to do something different instead of giving. And David Herring, thanks for sending the information. I'll get to the DM. I haven't opened it, but I seen what it was. I seen it. I haven't read the whole thing. I think you sent the information on how to contact. I want to do something different. I offered to give her a gift certificate from Woodhouse. Woodhouse is a massage place, spa. Okay, and I think it's very soothing and smooth for the lady. She seemed to be a very classy woman, and probably goes to massage, get her, get dealt with, But I think I want to do something different. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think what I want to do for her is give her some gift certificates to some Black-owned restaurants in the city. Man, that's how you spread the money and you spread the love around. Instead of doing Woodhouse, and no offense to Woodhouse, I mean, they're a great organization, but they not us. I'm just saying. I think what I want to do is get what is the Just Cooking and some of the places that we know are establishments. Let's spend that money with them. You feel what I'm saying? David Herring said Woodhouse is plush, but yeah, they getting plenty money. My wife and I go there quite often. They getting plenty money, but my wife and I have not been to Just Cooking or Just Barbecue. We haven't been there. Soul Secrets. Thank you, DC. So what I think we should do is get a dinner for two for her and her significant other. I believe she's married. I believe somebody said that she was married because she has a hyphenated name. I hope she's still married. But I think dinner for two at one of our great Black-owned establishments would be better. You see what you feel what I'm saying to you? Now we're taking care of her. We're taking care of a Black-owned business. That would be better. You feel what I'm saying? Now, Woodhouse get plenty of money. There's always a line. You have to make an appointment to get there. Feel me? So I think what we need to do is go ahead and spend some money with us. That's what I've always said. Donna said, never heard of Woodhouse. There's one in Liberty Township. That's the one my wife and I go Township. It's up by Liberty Mall. Very nice establishment. Okay, I got your message there, David. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. Jericho Vaughn said flex. Smile. I don't know what that means, but I got you. Carolyn said move around. Okay, that must have been someone else's conversation. All right, so listen. I tried to burn that video so you guys can see the 92-year-old who married his he said the best decade of his life. You talk to somebody that's 95 years old or 92 years old, excuse me. He's been around 9 decades. And they wanted to know what was his favorite decade in his lifetime. And he said the decade that I married my wife, she was 14 and he was like 22. And you don't see that today. Matter of fact, if you heard of that type of behavior today, if you heard of a man who was 21, 22, 23 years old and he was dealing with 14-year-old girls, he would be in jail today. So times have changed. America has changed. There's laws put in place to stop that type of behavior. But unfortunately, I think it's a real thing. I think back in the day, older men gravitated to younger girls and made them their wives. If you look at some of the older people to this day who are 92 and 93, 95-ish, 100, whatever, those that were married, if you ask them and look at when they got married, a lot of the ladies got married 15 and under, 15, some at 13. It's just amazing to me how many little girls got married at 13 and 14 years old back in the day, more so in the South. And we don't really have those conversations today because it's disgusting. Yeah, it is, quite honestly, it probably wasn't as disgusting back then because it may have had a different purpose. It served its purpose. These people stayed together for 40 and 50 years. And I would say it was a success. But I don't know if I would agree with a 22-year-old or a 23-year-old today with a 14-year-old daughter of mine. Hell to the no. I don't care what your intentions are. They not good. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine that. That's just disgusting to me. Princess Flower, she said, my uncle married his wife 18 years younger than him. Well, that's if he 40 and she 20. See what I'm saying? If he 42 and she 20, that's different. But if he's, 30 and she's 17 or 16, yeah, there's probably an issue with that. There's an issue with that. But what I will say, I don't know if this is fair to say. This is me talking off the top of my head, guys. I'm just thinking out loud. I would have to say that as disgusting as it may have sounded and felt to us today in 2024, I think that same 22-year-old man who marries the 14-year-old, I think there's a different family orientation back then. I think this man at 20 years old or 22 years old sees the world a little bit different than a 22-year-old man in 2024. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But the family, the nucleus of the family back in the 30s and the 40s was way different than today. And if you look at the history of marriage, men who married women in the 30s and the 40s, their marriages lasted longer than two people that would get married, one at 30 and one at 35 years old. The man's 35 and she 30. That marriage might not last 5 years. Look at the divorce rate. Here's another thing, a way to looking at that. If you're 22 years old back in those days and you get a 14-year-old girl and you call her your wife, and y'all get married. He said it was $5. Y'all got to watch this story. It's very intriguing. It's a great story. He said it cost them $5. He said the lady charged, the minister charged them $2.50 to do the ceremony. And it was $2.50 extra if they got a gold seal on the wedding, on the marriage license. The gold seal allowed them to be married in all states. Back in those days, you were only married in the state that you were married in. You were considered married in that state. But if you get a gold seal, you would be married in every state in the United States. It's a fascinating story. It's only 5 minutes and 20-something seconds long. You can learn a lot from an old guy. That old guy taught me a whole lot about how things were back in the 30s and the 40s. But he ended up paying $2.50 to the preacher. He paid $2.50 for the gold seal. And then he said he spent another $5 on their getaway honeymoon and cars. And, he said he had a car. So it's weird how much $5 could get you back in those days. It's a great story. Go check it out. It's in the Wyatt Live Messenger group. Jason said, I got here late. Did I hear a 21-year-old man and a 14-year-old girl. Yeah, JD, I'll give you a quick little 5-second re-up on this. Basically, a 95-year-old, 92-year-old man just was asked what was his best decade in America. All the decades he's been alive, what's been his best? He's 92 years old now. He said back in the days when the decade that he married his wife, he was 22 years old and she was 14. All right. And that was back in the 30s or the 40s. And we're having a conversation now about how inappropriate that would be today. But back in those days, the men and the women, did that woman learn to love? Did they learn to love each other back then? Was that what it was, guys? I mean, did they learn to love each other? Was she forced into that marriage? I mean, there's so many questions that go in because the tolerance of women back then. Oh, the tolerance. Like, if you're 14 and you don't read or write, you know what I'm saying? You don't really have any education behind you. You're kind of stuck in this lifestyle of being a wife, right? I mean, think about it. You're kind of stuck in the lifestyle of I'm a home giver. I'm a home. I take care of the home. I take care of the children. That's my role. That's what I do. I'm not going to school to be a teacher. I'm not going to school to be something other than, I'm not going to school to be something other than a housewife. Jenny said arranged marriages still exist today. They do. Matter of fact, oh, Jenny, I'm glad you brought that up. And I want to answer a question. I don't know who asked that question, but Jenny, arranged marriages do happen. My next door neighbor, they're Indian. And the youngest daughter is my youngest daughter's age. Okay, my youngest daughter is 19. My next door neighbor, he is he's a surgeon, and their youngest daughter, who wanted to go to the University of Cincinnati, she's going to the University of Cincinnati, but she's been married for a year now through an arranged marriage. So Indians here in America, and she's of Indian descent. I mean, you could see that they're clear Indians. Now, I don't know all about their culture, but they're Indian, okay? And bro, sis, she got married a year ago, straight out of high school. When she finished high school, her and her arranged husband got married. It's weird. So she's married over in college, in school. She goes to the University of Cincinnati. This is my next door neighbor. They had a little small thing at the house. It was a reception. And I shouldn't say this part, but I know they don't watch. My daughter don't even watch, but my daughter, with Instagram and all this social media stuff, here's a little girl that's 19 years old, that's married in an arranged situation, and she don't really want to be in it. She don't even want to be in that situation. And what happens is these young ladies get into a culture now, American culture, and those cultural behaviors are not accepted to these young women anymore. These young girls become Americanized, and they don't understand that some of this stuff is planned by the structure of families to build family wealth, to build family strength in their country, because they go off name affiliation in a lot of countries. Oh, you're a such and such. Donna said, I started with I got to be careful. Some of the things I say, they're a little bit too close to home. I don't want to say anything derogatory or something bad about a young lady and it come off like I'm on some bullshit. But the truth of the matter is, somebody said that there are still, arranged marriages today. And I don't want y'all thinking only in Pakistan. No, this shit is happening in America, because there's so many people in America of different culture that sometimes they adopt their culture from their land, bring it here to America. Just because they sitting here going to BW3s on Tuesdays and shit, you know what I'm saying, don't mean that they don't have their culture still within them. I'm not either, Jerica. Jerica said, I'm not mad at culture or keeping their traditions. Neither am I. I think if we would have kept, that's the one thing that kept me, y'all know, I did my little stint. I did my little Maz stint. I was almost about to be, Abdul Lee. I almost took on the name back in, what was that shit? Walnut Hills. I can't think of the year. Probably 80. No, 92-ish. 92-ish. I almost did it. I almost went full-fledged Muslim. The reason why, I'm gonna be honest with you, I love family orientation when it comes to Muslims. You understand what I'm saying? I love the family structure. I don't love everything about it. I don't love everything about anything, but I love how the Muslim men take on responsibility of their families. I love the role of everybody in a Muslim family. I love the role of everybody. Everybody knows their place. I know that sounds harsh, but everybody understands what they're responsible for when I say they know their place. Everybody knows their structure, their place in that structure. And that is a tradition that if a lot of us had that, yeah, I couldn't go without them ribs on. Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't, bro. I love the ribs too much, the ribs and tea. But the way that they make the women, it's a tradition. It's just cultural that the ladies can't bare skin. You understand what I'm saying? It cuts down on so much um, stuff that's going on in our world today. Um, you don't see teenage pregnancy. I'm not going to say none. You see very little teenage pregnancy in the Muslim world. And when you do see a teenager or a young 14, 15-year-old young lady being impregnated, it's usually through a husband. You don't see a lot of undisciplined kids. You just really don't see that. You see more respect for authoritarian figures within the home. Hey, don't get it twisted. I know some of them be grabbing their little bologna sandwiches and shit. Don't think that the Muslims, they talk that shit. Not all. There's a few that I know they can't get away from that Oscar Mayer either. My bologna has a first. They cannot look. They can talk all that shit all they want. But actually, if they started young, they're true to the belief. And the reason being is because they understand that it destroys the body temple and things of that nature. There's a belief there. Okay. And yeah, DC. Yeah. See, like I said, DC, there's a lot of things that I don't believe in, even from things that are 90%, great for us, true, good for the soul, good for us. There's a lot of it that I don't. There's that 10% that's there. I just can't agree with it. But then there's, I don't know a perfect world. I don't know a perfect anything. I don't have a perfect child. I don't have a perfect life. I don't know a perfect anything. I don't know anything that's perfect. I think you can find flaws in everything. There's some people that would even say that Jesus or that God has flaws. There's people that say that. And based on their experiences. But, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what I queued up. There was a comment that I wanted to make something. Can't remember what it was. Can't remember what that comment was. You guys have to excuse me for a second. I'm trying to find it. It was something when I was talking about my next door neighbor and her having her wedding. They had a small reception in the backyard of the house, and that's what made me. I already had knew, but I was playing dumb. I was playing like I didn't know what was going on. But the truth of the matter is, my daughter, who's friends with our next door neighbor, they're not buddies. They just know each other because they went to the same school. She was telling me how this young lady was getting married, right after high school, and the reason why. And then, the young ladies, they've never had a sleepover or anything, but they do stay up late. And I mean, they're next door. So they've had conversations. And, this young lady, she had been such Americanized that she just didn't want to go through with the wedding and stuff like that. Okay. What was the question? Princess Five says, Wyatt, I'm about to text you Carolyn question. What was the question? I'm sorry, did I miss something? Do that, please, so I'll know what it was. Carolyn, I didn't mean to miss you. It better not be. Only reason I may not have seen it is because you probably talking about some damn the Steelers. I don't want to talk about no Steelers. Did I miss it, Carolyn? Let's see, where am I? There we go. What was the question? Let me see. Oh, okay. I did see that question, and thank you for reminding me. The question was, Carolyn Smith asked, what would you do if your girls came home with a man in his 40s? Shit. That's a great question that I think a lot of y'all already know the answer to. You know, let me repeat the question. Carolyn Smith asked the question, what would I, how would I feel? Well, I know how I would feel, but it ain't a matter of how I would feel, to be honest with you, Carolyn. The question is better asked, what would I do? You know what I'm saying? The question, don't ask me how I feel. It'd be too vulgar. Y'all wouldn't respect me if I told you how I felt. But the better question would be, Wyatt, what would you do if your daughters came home with a 40-year-old? What would I do? Let me think about the best way to answer that. I already know how I would feel. Okay. The first thing I would do is have a conversation with him. Let's just take one at a time. You said daughters, like I got double problems on this one. I would have a conversation with a 40-year-old man that's seen anything interesting in my 22-year-old daughter. I would have a problem with that. Okay. And what I would do is, the first thing I would do, I wouldn't even have a conversation with my daughter yet. That's an easy check. But what I would have a problem with, and what I would have something to do with, would be this motherfucker. Like, bro, we about to have a conversation. I ain't gonna put hands. I ain't about to do none of that. I am gonna offer him the box though, because I want to see. I am gonna offer him that. We got to go in my gym. We gotta lace up the gloves in the gym. It's right over there. We got to go in the gym, and we're gonna have this conversation in a 16 by 16. That's the first thing we're gonna do. Now, that's what I would do, not how I feel. Okay. What I would do is have a conversation with this 40-year-old man, and I would be asking him, I know I have some mature girls mentally, okay, but I don't understand what a 40-year-old would have in common with a 22-year-old. So the conversation would be, what do you like about my daughter? What would you think? Like, and to be honest with him, because here's what I'm thinking first in line. I'm not thinking what y'all think I'm thinking. Like, oh, he's sexing my daughter down. It would be on my mind, and it would be a horrible thought, right? I think all fathers think that way. Here's my biggest problem, bro. My daughter's the age of a girl that you could be the father of. Y'all got to understand, I got this thing when I see these young girls that are my kids' age. I can't imagine dudes that want to be with girls their daughter's age. Is that my ignorance? Is that my maturity? Ladies, help me. Fellas, help me. Somebody help me. I can't imagine being with a woman or girl my daughter's age. Somebody make that shit make sense. Like, if you 40 years old, you could have a 20-year-old as a daughter. Why would you want to be with a woman or a girl the same age as your daughter? This shit is ill to me. Let me tell you what kind of man would do that. Oh shit, I'm about to get canceled. Ladies, if you didn't know, see, this is where Jerica get on me like, oh, you always say somebody gonna get mad, because there's some suckers out here that get mad over bullshit. Okay, here it is. There's gonna be a sucker attack after me saying this. The only man, I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. Let's say it. Let's do it. What time is it? I got some time to lick my wounds. The only man that'll be with a girl that's the same age as his daughter is a man that ain't raised no daughter. That's a motherfucker that got kids all over the city. That's a dude that has some daughters, but he ain't raised her. That's a guy who don't wake up every day and his daughter been in the house, because we know how immature our daughters are. We know how goofy they are. We know how, like a man that age could take full advantage of a woman that's that young. Okay, it's fair to say that a 20-year-old, 22-year-old is a woman. Okay, it's fair to say that. But technically she is. But mature, she's not. Okay, she does not have the maturity of a 40-year-old man. She don't know how to do things in life that 40-year-old men know how to do. And a 40-year-old man should not expect a 22-year-old to know how to do those things. So then I would have to say there's evil intent. You want to control an individual because you know they don't know. And if they don't know, then that means you want to just absolutely be in control. And that right there is where I would lose. That's why I know what I would do. I know how I would feel, but I know what I would do. A 40-year-old man has no business with a 20 or 22-year-old a girl. All right. He has no business with her. And to be honest with you, I go back and I stand on my circle. If you a 40-year-old man with a 20-year-old girlfriend, you ain't never raised a daughter. You might have 4 or 5 daughters. You ain't raised none of them. They ain't never been in your home for years. Now, you might have been in their house for a minute as they were a baby, but you have never raised a teenage daughter from 12 or 13 up to 18 years old. You've never done that if you dating somebody in that age range. Do you understand what I'm saying? You might have 4 or 5 daughters. I give you that. Why are you wrong? Shit, I got a 22-year-old daughter and I got a 22-year-old little girl. Shit. That don't even sound right. Because if you're a real man, you didn't raise it. You didn't raise a 13, 14, 15-year-old little girl. And you know that that's wrong. You know it wouldn't even make sense. And I'm gonna be honest and tell you, I know this is badass wrong, and I'm gonna go out on this. I would be skep of a man and how he even looks at his own daughter at 13, 14, 15 years old. If a man end up 40 something years old with a 22-year-old girl and he raised his daughter. If you raised your daughter and you end up with a girl your daughter's age, you suspect to me. You fucking suspect to me. Okay. Now, I got to say this so it'll make some sense to some people. I'm not talking about an 80-year-old man with a 40-year-old girlfriend. I ain't talking about that. All right. I ain't talking about, yeah, some of y'all might be like, yucks and all that old shit too. Okay, I get it. That look bad and all that, but it's not the same as a 40-year-old being with a 20-year-old. I ain't talking about that. I ain't talking about an 80-year-old man that got a 40-year-old daughter and he's dating a 40-year-old girl. That ain't the best thing in the world. But I can probably understand that more than I can understand a grown-ass man dating somewhat of an immature individual, where a 40-year-old woman is definitely mature enough to understand what she's into. But a man that's 40 years old dating a 20-year-old girl, and he has a 20-year-old daughter, and he raised her every day of her life, you suspect. I hope it ain't you. You suspect. Something wrong. Something's wrong if that happens. What am I thinking? That just don't look right. Let me see something. What time is it? Oh man, I think E is coming on. If he's not on already, let me just see. Can somebody let me know if E is on? I don't want to step up into my brother's time. I had a video of that guy. I didn't burn it. I should have burned it. I didn't. I did not burn that. I didn't burn the video. It's 5 minutes and 25 seconds. It's the guy that's 92 years old who married his first wife was 14 years old when they got married. So I'll put it in the Wyatt Messenger group. All right. So arranged marriages. Somebody asked me about that. Carolyn Smith, did I answer your question? Did you get it when I said, I don't know if I answered it right or wrong or whatever. How would I feel if my daughters came home with a 40-year-old? I didn't tell you this part. I'll tell you this before I leave. The conversation with him would be what I discussed. Okay. The conversation with my daughter, I would start the conversation by saying this. Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong, baby? Because let me be honest and say this. The way my wife and I have raised our children, I'm not as mad at her as I am the man, because I can understand my daughter wanting to be with someone that has their shit together, established. I can understand it. Okay. I don't agree with it, but I can understand her point of view more than his. Does that make sense? I think that he's taking advantage of an innocent individual. I think her advantage is more into how her life could be better. Maybe his life is better, but I don't see how a 20-year-old or a 22-year-old serves a better purpose. I don't know what a 22-year-old could do as a woman that a 35 or a 40-year-old woman can't do for that man. That's just my opinion. So I still really think there's some problem there with him wanting to control my daughter. But from my daughter's perspective, that conversation we would have, I think I would be a little bit more. This is horrible, but I'm just gonna keep it all the way transparent with you. I think I would understand. I wouldn't agree with it, and I wouldn't condone it, but I would understand because she wants to be. Okay. What if she brought home a 20-year-old dope dealer? See what I'm saying? What if she brought home a 22-year-old little dude that was ripping and running the streets? What if she brought home a 22-year-old little dude who wants to marry her and loves her to death, but he already has 2 kids by 2 different women? What stability is that for her, for my daughter, even though they're the same age? I think Jerick about to get mad at me when I say this. I think fathers are underappreciated in their roles, because I think fathers are the key to the success of our children. Mothers, y'all do what y'all do. You're great people. You serve your purpose. This is why the Muslim equation comes in my head all the time, because everybody knows their role and it's taught. But this is where the man is more important to the family nucleus than anybody. Because the man teaches the boy how to become a man. The man sets the example and sets the role of what his daughter should be going after. Family, let me just say this to you. This is exactly why we have the problems we have in our communities to this day. Not all. But this reckless behavior and this crazy running around the streets and this disrespect for our women, all this shit is because of the lack of teachings of a man to his child. We can get all the people we want to run around our neighborhoods and knock on and meet them and talk to the kids and this and that. But there's nothing better. Who remember the days when we used to break bread with our families and have dinner? Y'all remember that? You remember sitting at the dinner table with the family, the dad, the mama, the kids, maybe even granny? Because in my household, it was like that. I'll be honest with you. It was me. Well, let me start from the head of the table. my grandmother, my mother, my Uncle Greg, and myself. That was our dinner table every night in the projects. Every night. It was like good times. You know how they sat down at the round table? That was real life for us. Do you remember that? Mama Birch, remember that? Remember having everybody at the table? Not just on Sundays, but every day. I remember having those conversations at the table, and that was pivotal on how I was going to handle things the next day in my life. Like when I was having an issue with something at school, I bring it up at the table. Well, tomorrow I got to deal with this dude, Tony. He been pressing down on me and blah, blah, blah. And then my uncle will look at me and be like, boy, you better not take that shit off that boy. He better not do shit. You better handle that shit. See what I'm saying? I had that enforcement in my mind. Or when I was dealing with certain other things, I had that reinforcement at the dinner table. Like, hey, this is how you deal with this. This is how you do that, and blah, blah, blah. I think those days are gone. A lot of people ask this question: how do we fix the problem? What we got going on with our kids and this and this and that? Y'all misunderstood me. I'll tell you something that happened to me. This is personal. I wasn't going to share it with the family, but we here. And since I use my platform to speak my mind, I might as well share with the same people I spoke my mind to some of the things I deal with. Like I was talking about the other day, last week, I believe it was. I'm not going downtown and dealing with other people's kids at the bus stops and all that old shit. I'm not doing it. I've done stuff like that. Didn't work out for me. You got to be full time in these kids' head. That's what I said. And some people was shooting these shots. Oh, you going against what they trying to do. They trying to better them kids. You tripping, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you misunderstanding what I'm talking about. Some of y'all even said it. You misunderstanding what I'm talking about. I'm saying I'm not going down there because I know how some of these kids, they chill is not on the same level, and they will smack your ass. They will hit you. You can see it in the schools today. Teachers are getting smacked and hit and all this old shit by the same kids that you want to go downtown and try to discipline or try to teach them something or be their friend or be cool with them. You're missing my point. I'm not saying don't go be your best, whatever mentor you think you want to be. I'm not saying that. I said what's for me ain't going to be that. Because what's going to happen when one of them put their hands on you and you hit them back? That's going to be a problem. Or you have to defend yourself. That's going to be a problem. Or you pick up an enemy because something happened to one of them and you done did some things, said some things, and it led to something else happening. And it's a domino effect of dysfunction. And now you got somebody that don't like you. And it's somebody that don't have any type of, nothing in their life to keep that person from not liking you. Well, I get a text message on my phone, not the studio phone, not this phone on the screen, my cell phone. I don't know who it's from. I don't know any of that. They send me a text message. Let me see. I kept it just to have it. Hold on, where is it? They sent me a text message and it said this: FYI, if you have any issues with anybody on Government Square, then come see me. Because I had that feeling where I didn't want to. So now, because of how I feel, somebody reach out to me like I got a problem with how they moving. I don't have no problem with. I said what was best for me. But what bothers me is somebody's listening to the program and bringing it to my personal phone, talking about if I have a problem with how people down here moving on Government Square, come see you. Huh? What did I say that would make somebody think I got a problem with you being on Fountain Square or Government Square, whatever it was? What problem do you think I have? I'm not the one that's liable to get smacked by a kid. I'm not the one in the line of fire or any of that. But why would that be a thing for you to feel like Am I fucking up your money? What? I mean, what? I don't understand that. I don't know, Regina. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to play into it. I'm not going to play into it because you don't have, I'm not the one you should be worried about when you're dealing with kids that got to be chaperoned and stuff like that. That's not my fight. So keep in mind, whenever you have somebody speaking up and saying something that's not part of the agenda or not part of certain circles or whatever, you always going to have people that's going to challenge you because of how you feel. My way of fixing things might be different, but I ain't never told nobody don't go. Has anybody ever heard me say that? Crazy. I said I wasn't even going to share that. I said I wasn't going to share that, but I shared it because I wanted the family to know. Like almost 5 years I've been here on the platform, and those are the type of things I deal with because of what I say that might be the opposite of how people moving out here. And I don't see anything wrong with what people are doing to help. I just know that if I've experienced some things, if I know some things and how things generally going to work out, I speak up. I speak up. And that's what happened. I didn't take it. Jericho said, what if it wasn't a threat? I really didn't take it as a threat. I didn't take it as a physical threat because it could have been you just want to have a conversation. Maybe you want me to experience what they're doing. Come see me if you have a problem with what we doing. Maybe that's how I took it. I didn't take it as a threat. I'm saying that not a physical threat. I took it as a you don't know what you're talking about type of a thing. I took it for that because I know what a threat is. I know what a threat is. All right. I took it as if you have a problem with us being here or doing what we doing, then come see me. Come see us. I took it like that. Now, if it was a threat, I probably wouldn't even have brought that. If I felt it was a threat, I would have never brought it up on here. Because I'm the type of individual, I know how to handle myself. I know not to be putting things like I don't put things out there to escalate problems. I'm not gonna do that. Or to give attention to something that I feel like don't really need attention. No. I'm bringing it up now because you have people that if you challenge or if you say something opposed to what they're doing or what they're saying, they sometime, will reach out or they may be in their feelings about something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. What was that? Jericho said maybe they want you to come see them so they can handle it. So they can handle what? Handle me? Or you mean so I can handle it? Handle what they doing? See what I'm saying? So I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I'm the easiest man in the city to find. I might be the hardest guy to catch up with, but I'm easy to find. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't think it's that. I don't think I've ever done anything or said anything to see. I'm cut from a different cloth. What I don't do is I don't mess with people's money. I try not to. If I said something, that's one thing, but I will not step on the toes when somebody trying to get to their money. So I'm cut from a cloth where when you start interrupting people's money, there could be some issues and some problems. But just differences of opinion, I can't get upset. I can't get upset. I can't, I mean, because you might interpret something different than I interpreted or see something different than me, I'm not going to, have a sucker attack about something like that. But I'm trying to think. I I ran it by a friend of mine. Okay. I ran it by a friend of mine who watches the show. And he said something to the nature of, well, maybe it was the same. Maybe it was one of them things where when you said something about the coaches. And I'm like, what you mean? He was like, well, you did say something about how these guys be trying to take care of kids that's not theirs and they don't take care of their own kids. I said, okay, well, maybe that was it. But this was geared to like the Fountain Square place. I didn't say anything like that about that. I said something like, I said it as a general comment. I said it in general. I said, and y'all know this to be true. Y'all know how it is. You got people, you got dudes out here that take care, they want to try to act like they taking care of the community, taking care of shit, and they aren't even taking care of their own sticks. That's an old saying, sticks is home. That kind of bothers me a little bit, but I ain't about to call nobody out on it. I might say it, but you ain't never gonna hear me say it to somebody specifically. Like if I know John over here perping and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like John over here coaching and taking little boys to Kings Island on the weekends and doing all this funky fresh shit with kids. And here come the cameras. Here come Channel 5, and he's trying to get all this pub and all this clout. But then, he don't even take care of his own kids because we see his kids out here ripping and running the streets and acting crazy. We see that a lot in our communities. We see that a lot. We see some of the it's almost like preacher kids. If you're a PK, or what is that? A preacher's kid, a PK. If you're a PK, don't get mad. But this is the perception that a lot of people have, that preacher kids are bad. Okay, like preachers being in church talking all this old shit and community oriented, blah blah blah, and they kids be some of the worst kids in the community sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like been a saying for years. I say the same thing about some of the community activists. Not all, but some. Some community activists, they always about the community and the kids, but do you keep up with your kids? So I think it's a fair argument when you say what we know what we know to be true, and that is you got, you got a lot of people who stand out here and act like they for the community, they act like they for the kids. And if you look at how many of your kids you raising, and maybe there's a lesson there. I always see things as a lesson. Look, if my real biological father was in the community trying to help kids today, I could possibly think that that was because of a guilt trip that he may have. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe he's guilty since he didn't raise me. Maybe he didn't raise any of my brothers or sisters that he had. Maybe he now sees his wrongs and he wants to try to help the community kids to do the things for them that he didn't do for me. Maybe that's an angle. I don't know. If he's doing it, there's cameras around, attention being brought by it. I would think maliciously of what he's doing. I would think that it was a self-agenda move. That's what I would think. If he was doing it and no attention is being brought to it, and he was doing it in the background, and he was helping kids and buying uniforms and doing things for the kids in the community and trying to be a mentor for these kids, and he didn't want to be seen or heard of and any of that, I would think that it was genuine. I would really honestly think that he was being a genuine person. So I always look at the motivation in people. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it in what do they get out of it? I told you, we've been taught not to be judgmental. There's not a person on this program. I'm going to speak the way I speak. If you disagree, you just put it in there and say you disagree. There is not a person on this program that's not judgmental. Let me tell you how I know that. Because I don't see too many dumb people on here. And you would absolutely be dumb if you don't judge your surroundings. You would be absolutely foolish. It would be foolish of you if you didn't pass judgment on people or pass judgment on things that's going on around you. And you have to judge people. That's the only way you ever going to be safe. That's the only way you ever going to stay from a lot of chaos and stay out of the danger of things. So don't sit back and say you don't judge. We all do. If you're not judging, you're not living a life. If you're not judging, that means you don't care what's around your children. If you're not judging, that means you Don't care what's around your family, what's around your wife. If you're not judging your surroundings and judging people, then you don't know what's going on. You just oblivious to all behavior. You just are open. You just a walking lick. That's the truth of the matter. So yeah, I'm judgmental. And it's worked out pretty good for me. And like I said yesterday, on the show yesterday, we talked and I said, if I have to worry about somebody that's worried about what I'm doing and what I'm thinking, then I got to be worried about that person. Make sense? If I got a buddy who's mad at me because he thought I did something, or he thought that I was about to do something, or he was thinking ill, he was thinking negative about what my intentions were at him, he's not a buddy. That's not a buddy of mine. Because what you're telling me is I got to protect you got to protect yourself from me because you think I have the capacity or the ability to do certain things to you I wouldn't even think of doing to you. And what that tells me is you would do that to me. That makes any sense? That make any sense to anyone? Like for instance, I would never be around a guy that would think that I would cheat with his girlfriend, cheat with his wife, or I would never be with that dude. And the reason why I would never be with that dude is because chances are he would cheat with my wife. He would cheat with my wife. He would go after mine. He would do something because it's in his heart. Larceny breeds larceny. You feel me? Like, why would I be around somebody that think that I would fuck them over? The only person that knows you and who thinks that you would screw them over is somebody that would screw you over. I don't hang around anybody that has to have a guard up around them when I'm around. And if I do, if you ever see me around somebody that I have to have my guard up on, I'm not around them very long. There's a reason I might be there, but we're not gonna have this long lasting relationship. So that goes back into the conversation from yesterday. And that is, I don't have any friends that I have to have my guard up on, that I think they'll steal $20 off my stand if they walk in my house. Or I feel like they would try to pull up on my wife. Or I feel like they would try to do something wrong to something that is very important to me in life. Trust me, family. If you have someone like that around you, look, I've met people in the city of Cincinnati, where I have gone to them, straight up business. I've gone to them and tried to have a relationship with them, threw my cards on the table and said, hey, this is the role that I want to play in what you're doing. That's it. And they don't trust me. I can understand not having trust out the gate. Nobody should trust anybody when you meet them for the first time, second time, third time, or whatever. But when you start putting your bread on the line, your sticks on the line, when you start investing in the relationship, now you have to trust me. If you don't respect me or trust me when I start making the initial investment, that means I'm getting into a bad deal. Y'all feel me on that? I'm getting in a bad deal when you still don't trust me when I've invested in our relationship, friendship, business deal. You still don't trust me when I put skin in the game. Guess what that means? I got to self-check and say, I can't trust this guy. I can't trust this woman. I can't trust this person because they don't trust me. Anybody that don't trust me, you cannot trust them. I can't trust them. I'm not talking about that first encounter. I'm not talking about the second. I'm talking about once things get to a point where you're starting to invest, you're putting yourself into it, you're lowering your guard, but they're keeping their guard up. That person can't be trusted. I think I can put it in a better term for my female listeners, for my family, for my sisters. Ladies, when you meet a man and you've been through some trials and tribulations in other relationships, and you've been cheated on, or you've been abused or whatever, and you finally meet a dude and he does everything that he possibly can to get you to lower your guard, but you just refuse to do it, he's going to leave. He is absolutely going to leave for a couple different reasons. Number one, he's not going to want to put up with that guard shit for the rest of his life, or however long he may have gone through that relationship with his last girl. You know, people bring relationships into new relationships. I get it. I understand it shouldn't happen, but it's a normal human thing. I get it. But at the same time, this man is not going to put another 6 months into your guards. I get it. But here's the problem. If you lower those guards too soon to a man that still has his guards up, chances are you're going to run into the same situation that you came from. You know, I'm going to say something to some people. You can use this good for evil if you want to. You can use this good for evil if you want to, but I want to share something that might take a lot of people a lot of different places. I trust people who put their guards down. Once you open up to me, once you lower your guard, I can trust you. The vulnerability is where the better relationships and the better friendships come from. Now, I'm not saying totally put yourself in a position to be God. What I'm saying to you is vulnerability is the highest risking thing that you can use in a relationship. And I'm not talking about just boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm talking about in business. I'm talking about in everything. When people walk around with guards up, if you have one with a guard up and one with a guard down, chances are the one with the guard up is the one that can't be trusted. That doesn't go for man or, I mean, that's either man or woman. It doesn't matter. You can vice versa them. You can do whatever you want to do. The one that keeps the guard up the longest is the one that can't be trusted. Because trust, if you could be trusted, then you can trust yourself to lower your guard. If you can't trust yourself to lower your guard, chances are you're the snake. You're going to have some bad dealings. 20 years of negotiating, and the only thing that I ever look for is how people treat me when they see I'm vulnerable. You know, I become vulnerable on purpose sometimes. Sometimes, you know, in business you have to do that. I've dealt with people where I've been to a point where, look, I'm never gonna let somebody just break me. Okay, like financially break me, put myself in. I'm never gonna lose. This is an inside me thing. I'm never gonna lose more than I can afford. You get it? I've written checks to people that I knew wasn't gonna do me right. I've played along with it just to, but what they don't understand is I'm a couple frames ahead of what they're doing already because I see it coming. But I've written checks to people that I knew wasn't gonna do me right, but they thought they were getting over. And as long as you know who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with, they're not getting over in their small frame of mind and the way they live their life on to the next type motherfuckers. They getting over. But smart individuals calculate their moves and they know that they paying for something in the future. They may not be paying for now. See, most people that's getting over snakes and people that take advantage of you, they're doing this shit for the moment. They're not longevity type thinking people. That's why they have so many different skirts in life, which means they have way more ups and downs than people that move consistently. People that get over on people, fuck over on people, they have all these ups and downs, things, this and this and this. It's like a gamble. It's like a person who has a gambling problem. There's no consistency in dice. There's no consistency in cards. The deck is dealt and different cards are coming out every time. When you shoot dice, a different number is going to land 9 out of 10 times. A different figure is going to come out, even though the 7 has a combination 7 times more than any other combination. Life is about consistency. I calculate everything on consistency. When people talk about politics, I don't care what they saying that makes sense to them, who contributed this amount of money, who did this, who did that. I pay attention to the consistency of what they're doing. Is it working or not? I've done some things where I lowered my guard in certain people's eyes and I watched them take advantage, and I would say, I got a buddy, I got friends on here right now know exactly what I'm talking about. Lower my guard, look like I'm lowering my guard just to let them jump off as much as they think they can jump off. And guess who ended up mad at who? I ain't mad at you. I knew you was playing games. I'm not mad at you, dog. I know that's how you roll. I just can afford your bullshit. I can afford it. And it was working for me in my own little world. It was working for me. I know what I need to know from you. And you know what? One person can't pin down this situation because it's been several. It's been several people that I've done this to. And it's people y'all respect. It be people that you be like, what? Nah, this motherfucker hating. He ain't do that shit. Yeah. She didn't do him like that. Yeah. Yeah. They just people that don't have any, the only consistency that they have is the game, the hustle itself. How they do everybody might be consistent too. It might be different because I'm just a different hand that's been dealt to them. I can see the shit that they do. I can see it. I can see how you using it. The problem is this. When all the shit comes to surface and it's time to be true and real, usually the gamer is the one, the one that's shooting all the bullshit. The gamer is the one that try to make you out to be the bad guy to everybody else. Oh, he ain't shit. Oh, y'all know that. You ever loan somebody $20? Let's keep it at 20. You ever loan somebody $20 and they ain't never gave it back to you, and then they always shitting on you? Oh, you mad at me, that little punk ass $20? Yeah, motherfucker, you mad because that little punk ass 20? Yeah, y'all, this motherfucker, he gave me $20 2 years ago and he's still over here tripping. When we gonna make him look like the dumbass for saying what he just said? Why does the guy who gave him $20, why are you trying to make him look like the bad guy? Make her look like the bad guy. Motherfucker gave you $20 2 years ago. He shouldn't have to ask for that $20. But you ever dealt with somebody that want to make you out to be the bad guy for some shit they did to you? And they know they wrong. So now what they have to do is paint this picture of you as being this bad guy. Or when you coming around just to make them look bad. You coming around to make them look like they ain't shit. Because they got larceny in their mind. You can't just be coming around because you're interested in what's going on. You can't just be coming around because this is what I want to do. This is how I feel. I want to be involved in this. No, you making it personal because of some personal shit that you brought in. You ain't shit. You know you ain't shit. How many people have dealt with that? A lot of people have dealt with that. Now you want everybody else to be your ally on some bullshit, so you make up stories about a motherfucker. I had a dude make up a story about me and the kids in the city of Cincinnati thinking I'm trying to backdoor him. I don't need to backdoor you. And one of my buddies, they in a crap game. I know this is going to take a little bit of the legitimacy out of what I'm saying because of how I'm going to describe this situation. But I had a buddy of mine who's no longer with us. And he took up for me. He took up for me behind my back. Those are real friends. Friends that are take up for you when you're not there to defend yourself. Those are true friends. So he's at a particular little spot and my name come up. I'm not there to defend myself. My name comes up and the conversation was all wrong. It wasn't even on my character. It wasn't who I was. So this name, my name pop up and my buddy come to my defense and says, bro, why would you even say some shit like that about him to these people? They don't even know him. They don't know him. They don't know him. And for you to say some shit like that, bruh, if he wanted this, if he was trying to do some crazy shit, he would just buy the building and kick you out. You making it sound like he on some other shit, but he's not. I know him. This is my friend. This is how it came back to me. And you know, people that talk behind your back have this subconscious. They think that every time you come around or every time your name is mentioned or every time there's something going on with you, they think that you thinking about them. And you really, I mean, I'm not the type that do that. Like, I don't think about bullshit people. You feel me? I don't think about people that have nothing bad to say, nothing good to say about me and all bad to say about me behind my back. I don't, look, they can keep on talking to the people that don't know me. I don't care about that. But it's funny. It's funny. Always remember this, fam. This is from my experience. You may not have ever experienced this, but let me just say this to you. The people that truly don't know you are the ones that talk about you the most behind your back. Jerica, if you still here, don't get mad because I just said something that's obvious. What I'm saying to you, sister, is sometimes people need to hear obvious shit. It just needs to be reinforced in them. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we know what I just said to be a fact, okay? But some people just need to hear it out loud because nobody tells them. But the truth of the matter is there's not somebody running around these streets that know you so damn well that they can tell your secrets or expose you for the bullshit ass person that you truly are. Because people who look, I found out that if the bullshit people that I know, I don't speak on them because I'm not around them. I'm not around them. I don't want to know them. I don't want to have anything to say about them. I can only speak on my experience with them. I'm never going to share how they got over on this other person. And I don't care about that. There's been plenty of people that I've dealt with locally who people warned me not to do business with. And I would say things like, well, you know, they've never done anything to me. And they'd be like, okay. I dealt with a dude up in the Middletown area like that. They told me, don't deal with him, bro. That organization, they horrible, bro. You don't want to deal with him. Boy, I'm telling you. What did I say? He ain't never done nothing to me. Never done anything to me. So I can't go off of what you're saying he done did to everybody else. He burned me. But guess what? He only burned me for what I can afford to lose. You don't think I went in there just unjudgmental? I might not stand on, I'm going to talk about this person behind their back with the person who want to talk behind their back. I might not stand on those principles because I don't do that. There's nobody on here right now that could bring me on Front Street and say, Wyatt, me and you used to talk about such and such all the time. And you used to kick it with that dude that you talk about behind his back. Nobody can do that. All right. There ain't nobody on this podcast that can say that I've ever done that because I don't stand on shit like that. But now let's be honest. Not everybody can say that. Not everybody can say that, well, I know I hang with Rob and I know I be talking behind his back and shit, but it is what it is. No, it's a lot of people that say shit that live like that. There's a lot of people in your circle amongst you that are like that. They need to get a life. Guys, I'm at the top of the hour, man. I appreciate everybody that was here today. I appreciate everybody who came in and shared some time with me today. I appreciate everybody that stuck around and maybe listened to half the show and came back and listened to the second half or whatever. However you worked your time, you gave me a little bit of it. I really appreciate that. This is why I do it. This is my therapy. And it allows us to go over the things that we know are real, true, and things that need to be focused on. So peace and love to everybody. I'll see you guys same time tomorrow, 1 o'clock, right here on Wyatt Live. Peace and love to everybody.
Come on. The future for soul to soul, a happy face, a thumping bass for a loving race. Peace.